All right, there we go. And then we're just waiting on Mike too. There he is. Okay.
Unfortunately, you were right. We don't have Mary Ellen's quite yet.
Oh, great. Okay.
We're smart not to bet on the USPS this time, I guess.
Okay. Do we still need it? Is today like the absolute deadline?
Oh, I have no idea about that.
Okay.
Hey, Sean, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, yes, this is Juliet. Today is the last day. We will be needing that claim for payment form. I've searched the files and we do not have a copy of it.
Okay. All right. Well, then, Mary Ellen, I will run over. Do we have a copy of that on the K drive, Julia? Like like a standard claim for payment form?
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Yeah, if you can email to me, I'll print it. I'll run it over to Mary Ellen and then bring it back to City Hall. We'll do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay.
Sean,
Does that work for you, Mary Ellen?
Yep, I'll be here.
Okay, perfect.
Sean, I
Yeah,
think I remember
they haven't
signing.
got it yet.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
I apologize. I'm not familiar with this platform. I am here representing Springbrook, but I'm not Emily, if you couldn't tell.
Yep, I got the email.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. I wasn't sure if that got through.
Yep. No worries. We're just waiting on one commissioner and then we'll get started.
Okay, great.
Sean, I think I remember signing my voucher. That you've got that, right? Or the city's got
Yeah,
that?
we have everybody's except for Mary Ellen's. For some reason, USPS lost it, I guess.
She's a rebel.
I know,
Yeah.
it's me. I mailed it last week, the day after I got it.
Sean, we don't have any minutes this time, right?
No, not this time. The minutes, I'll forward those for Tuesday's meeting, for the regular meeting. Just as an FYI to everybody who's attending that one, you might receive the staff reports. There's only 2 of them, but you'll probably receive them first thing Monday morning now.
Okay.
Just FYI, I apologize. We're sort of busy at the moment.
Yeah. No, no problem.
Okay.
Hey, Sean,
Yes.
you know what? They might want to look. I mailed it to you.
That should have come to our office though.
Right, it would have, and I had CAUD written on the envelope and everything.
Yeah, that should have come to us.
Yeah, okay, just in case, because I directed it to you.
I checked my mailbox, what was it? Wednesday? And there was nothing there, so.
Okay,
Check the mail today, there was nothing downstairs.
Okay.
thank you.
John? Hello?
Yep.
Hello?
So Mike obviously said he was going to be able to attend, right?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, Mike is here?
Yeah,
Mike
I'm
is
here.
here. We're just waiting on John.
Oh, we just got John. So we got Mary Ellen and Mike and myself. Okay.
Yep,
Sorry,
John
Didn't know you were-
called me at about like 11:58 and said he was just running a few minutes late.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, Sean, I'm here.
Okay.
Hey,
Excellent.
Ken.
We can get started.
Sorry
All right.
about that.
This is Ken Ellsworth, CAUD member. We have Mary Ellen with us, John and Mike, and call the CAUD meeting of February 26th to order. We don't have any minutes to review this time, and we have 4 agenda items. And those are going to go in the order, Sean, or is there any special change to this order?
There's no special change, and we have 5 items. It's just the last one sort of.
All right. Oh, it's on the other page. I got to flip the page.
There we go. Sorry. I should have minimized that a little bit more.
So if there's public.
I think we got some interference there.
Oh, someone.
There we go.
Okay. If you're listening to this and you want to call in for a comment, there is a planning department number 772-7028 that you can call in and have for your comments. First item on the agenda is 89 Court Street. Sean, would you take us through that?
Yeah, so this is an application for new signage at the Perry Building. The applicant is essentially proposing to do 2 things. The first is they're planning to install a vertical vinyl graphic sign in the first floor windows of the Perry Building, and that's provided below. And then the second item is that they're, this isn't necessarily subject to CAUD's review, nor does CAUD usually concern themselves too much with temporary installations, but because it was all part of the package, I did include it in the application. They're also planning to have a flag that accompanies the new signage. So one of the flag poles will be utilized. I can go right down to the proposal. So as you can see, here's the flag. And then these are the vertical signs, the vinyl decals essentially applied to the exterior, or vinyl cling that they're planning to install. It's not as common to see the vertical use of the windows, but it does meet the guidelines in regard to the size of the graphic. So it's meeting the 1/3 display of the guidelines. It's just not as frequently seen to have vertical signage proposed for the windows, but that was the direction the applicant decided to go with. And I believe, Kevin, you're on the line, correct?
Yes, that is
Bill?
correct. Yes.
We've got Kevin from Springbrook here to speak about the application if the commission has any questions.
Kevin, this is Ken Ellsworth again. Do you have anything you want to add to Sean's brief presentation?
No, I think he covered it. I'll introduce myself. My name is Kevin Morris, and I'm the Director of Facilities for Springbrook. So just so you have a reference. I think he covered it adequately. It is as it appears. They are vertical and they do meet the 1/3 coverage. So it may be a deviation of what you're used to seeing, but we like them aesthetically. So that's what we're hoping for.
Okay. CAUD members, before I jump in, any comments?
No, I have a question real quick. John Darrow, CAUD Commissioner. Kevin, what exactly is Springbrook? I don't have any identification, and your signs don't tell me what you do.
Sure.
I'm just curious.
We are located in Oneonta, which is in Otsego County, and we provide services and support for people with developmental disabilities.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so couple just comments and just in random. and Kevin, this is what we try to do. We have some guidelines that we have to follow that were adopted by the city regarding sign ordinances. Not so much in square footage, which was mentioned, and that apparently these signs fit in the requirements, but more of a aesthetic and more of a review with the building, and also setting precedents for signs in the downtown area. So one of the things that we've been trying to avoid a lot of is these larger graphic signs. And they are starting to pop up in quite a few different places. We just had one 2 weeks ago, I believe, and we struggled with the background being, well, in that case, it was a color as well. These all have backgrounds and colors. So we tried to look into the historic part of the buildings and try to generate what was previously may have been there and what fits. And so just for me, the first things that stick out is the multiple colors and the solid backgrounds surrounding the words. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying that's something that we have avoided in the past.
Well, I can understand that. I appreciate what you're saying. From what I gather, if I review it, you're trying to look for something that's a little bit more architecturally authentic to the period of the building that it sits on.
Yeah,
I get that. And the colors actually have a theme in our regard because it's sort of present in our signage because it represents diversity and lack of judgment, if you will. So there is a component to that. It's just not chosen to be opulent.
okay. CAUD members, any thoughts on this?
Well, we had issues with the colors on the last one. This is Mary Ellen, by the way. We had issues with the colors on the last one, and they changed it to clear to colored lettering, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the opaque nature of the solid colors. Traditionally, they were block lettering of different type of fonts and things like that were, I don't know, not a standout so much color. What we try to do, Kevin, is, we understand that things are, we have to modernize at some point, but we also have to be concerned with setting precedents for the next guy that comes in. We've often had to deal with full window graphics as well. All this is not the case.
I understand.
Anybody got some suggestions or some solutions, or where is everybody's thoughts on this? As Mary Ellen pointed out, the last application had more of a gold opaque color with the words around that, and then altered that to get that for approval.
Do you need all 5? Are they all part? Are they like a succession?
I don't think there's a specific sequence. I don't think that's vital to the thought behind it.
Okay.
So certainly if what you're suggesting is if we can reduce the number, we can certainly take it under consideration. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is Mike, CAUD Commissioner. I think there's just too many. I mean, I think it sticks out too much. So any way to reduce the number.
In the upper picture, there's a strip with multiple colors. What window is that in?
That's on the Court Street side, I believe.
Yeah, it's Court Street. It's the most east window of the first one.
Right.
Does anybody have any issue with the vertical nature of the sign? I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with the vertical nature of it. It's
I'm
clear
fine.
weakness.
It looks like a bunch of lipstick samples or Crayola crayon samples. Kevin, I'm not trying to bash your product image.
It's okay. I agree openly.
Looks like it's
Just from the staff perspective, I'm wondering if CAUD and maybe the applicant would prefer, but just throwing this out there as an idea, I'm wondering if maybe the backgrounds weren't included and instead the text was colored to match the backgrounds that currently exist for each sign, and then the logo of I think it's a heart shape, was just present without a white background, if that would be something that maybe would be more appropriate and wouldn't stand out as much.
what you're saying, Sean, and I think you're on the right track. For me, anyway. I'm not speaking for anybody else.
I've always struggled with the opaque background. I think that's the thing that keeps sticking out. Like, we just rejected the white background on a previous sign. I think we have to be somewhat consistent. Kevin, who's doing your sign work?
It's a local company. It's Robinson Design.
Okay. All right. They're not on with us, are they?
No, they are not.
I was last time, but the reason I was asking that, we actually had the sign company on and they were able to make some suggestions that met both the needs of the applicant and the board. So we got it through pretty quickly. I think we have to see another option or some other options with this. Mike had mentioned numbers. So I think a reduction in numbers and then also that background. Not objection to colors, just the background. Is that a fair assessment, other members?
Yeah, because that's what we went with the last time. And then if I remember correctly, about a year or two ago, we had something down the street from them on the side on Shenango there. Remember we had issues with all the window stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But this building, it's the historicness of the building too that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so Sean, procedurally, is this better to suggest that the applicant table this to come back with a different design, or do we actually want to vote and say, we don't want to vote to say no to any one aspect of this, I guess. I mean, we could vote and say we don't mind the vertical nature and we don't mind the colors, but it's the background and the number.
I would say procedurally it would be easier in this case to just table the application for this specific property, to table it until a redesign is submitted, and just to the applicant, given the way we had the meeting scheduled, if there's a resubmittal on Monday, I don't have an issue staff-wise adding this to the regular Tuesday meeting agenda for next week.
No, that's fine. I don't want to delay them any, if more than we have to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Quick question. How does anybody feel about the flag? Because the flag doesn't bother me. Maybe we could give them approval on the flag if everyone's of a mind to, and then we just have to deal with the windows going forward.
Can we see the flag again? I can't quite. Oh, there we go.
Sean, did you say we didn't have purview of the flag?
Yeah, there's really no purview on the flag, to be honest, because it's temporary in nature.
Oh, okay. It looks good.
Can I ask you something? And getting back to Sean's recommendations or suggestions when speaking about the background, the flag obviously deviates in background a little bit from the banners on the windows. Is that more what you were thinking? Everything captured into one color?
Well, what we have done before is if someone wants to color, we've been allowing them to the logo itself. Let's take the bottom of that red, the red sign, the red banner there. So the logo can stay the color that it is. It's your logo. We don't want to mess with that. But the white background would become clear. It would just be the logo on the window.
Oh, I see.
The words that are in the red, they're white now with a red background. They can be red again with a clear background, I think is what we were looking to see. And that would be consistent with what we've done in other applications.
Okay, so just to recap, your preference or what you're suggesting, we'll put it that way, is the text, the actual content of the banner be revealed in color, but then the vertical body of it becomes transparent.
Correct. It's more traditional to the historic nature of the district.
I understand.
And it more falls in line with our guidelines, I believe. We've tried to consistently uphold those guidelines.
Yeah, consistent with the other sign currently on the building too, where there's just text and no background, no solid background.
Correct. And I don't think we have a problem with the vertical. It's different, but I don't think the board members have issue with the vertical unless somebody wants to speak up.
No,
No, I'm okay with it.
yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, and then looking at the colorful banner without text on the corner, that would essentially be deleted, since it doesn't feature anything informational.
I would think so.
Yeah,
I say so.
And
That's more consideration than anything.
That would play into the reduction of numbers. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm writing this down.
So, Sean, does the applicant have to ask for it to be tabled, or do we make a motion to table it?
You can motion to table it.
Okay. I make a motion to table this application. Give an opportunity to come back with some of the revisions that were discussed during this application.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Kevin, thank you very much. I'm sure we're going to get to something that we all can be happy with, and we welcome you to town.
Oh, thank you, and I appreciate your time and your guidance.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we will, I'll try to, Kevin, if you can submit a redesign or have your sign contractor submit a redesign before Tuesday's meeting, I can add that to the agenda.
I will try to work that out. Thank you,
Okay.
Sean.
Move that along. Okay, and the next application is actually Springbrook as well, so we'll keep Kevin on. This is for a different building, and also one that's not actually within the historic district, but because it falls immediately adjacent to the historic district, it still falls under CAUD review. But it's a non-contributing building to the draft, so we're sort of in the process of revising our historic district. So this would be considered a non-contributing building to that. And so I just want to emphasize that before we get into the review. But this is also for Springbrook, and I'll just go directly to the proposal here. Again, the sort of similar graphic presentation with the installation of flags, the logo on the doors, and then the vertical vinyl cling banner for the two windows.
Sean, can you zoom in on the doors for us, please?
Yes.
Okay. So same Ken Ellsworth again, same comments regarding the vertical window graphics, but no issue for me on the doors and what I'm looking at. Board members, thoughts?
Yeah, this is Mike. I would say the same thing. I mean, the doors look fine, just the vertical pieces.
Yeah, that's they might as well be consistent throughout. And I don't mind the flags. I know we
No.
don't vote on.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it's a little bit, I think you have a little bit more jurisdiction over the flags because it's the installation of new flagpoles. So here you do.
Mm,
Oh, okay.
I like them.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Yep, no, I have no issue with the flags.
And they hit the
And
doors, you know,
Yeah.
for what they're,
Actually, on the doors might be a nice treatment for the doors. It's a vertical line of sight anyway. Kevin, Mr. Darrow again, and I don't tell people what to do. I do make suggestions from time to time. Again, it doesn't say anything about what your business is. And I think you kind of, at some point, need to have something that tells people you're there for developmentally challenged individuals or something, just some sort of recognition. Just looking at it, I simply don't have an identity as to who you are or what you do. And we want you to succeed coming into our valley. We're very proactive for businesses and especially for community outreach programs.
Oh, thank you. Sure, we'll take that into consideration and see how we can maybe add that to our logos and our features.
We want you to succeed.
Thank you.
I just think the only thing different about this, John, is it's probably not a walk-in type of a business that we're used to. People seek out them through other means, and it's free.
You still have to know what the facility is doing.
Yeah,
Saturday advertising.
okay. So if the board wants to, you could split this one. You can approve, make a motion to approve flags in the doors, and ask them to come back with a redesign for the windows. Does that make sense, Sean?
Procedurally, I think it would be easier to just approve it all in one go.
Okay.
And given the time, I don't see an issue again with adding this to Tuesday's agenda if the revisions are available before the meeting.
Okay.
I can actually just add it to the agenda regardless, and then depending on whether or not the resubmission is received in time, it can either be tabled again or
Okay.
or
All right. Well, then we'll keep it simple. I make a motion to table this application, giving them an opportunity to come back with a redesign of the vertical signs in the windows.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Kevin, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday.
All right, we will do what I can. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy
Thanks,
the
Kevin.
sunshine. This is about as nice a February day as we can get.
Yep.
All right, see everyone later.
Okay, Sean, 130 Hollis Street.
Yep, for 130 Holly Street, I can keep this short as well. I don't know if we have anybody. Jeff Kent is on the line for this. Okay, good. So in this case, I think this is a very straightforward application. We've got a garage that has essentially collapsed. It seems to just pass over the 40-year mark for review, so that's why CAUD is hearing it based on what I saw. There's always been a substantial two-car garage affiliated with the residential dwelling at the property. Now, I don't know if it was always this concrete block garage based on the maps that I reviewed, but the concrete block garage has existed since at least the 1950s in this location. It probably has been reconstructed and modified, but it has existed. And on Christmas of this past year was when the roof collapsed. And I'll just go through the photos and we can go back up. This is the existing condition. This is what it looked like on Christmas after the roof collapse. And in sum, I can tell you I did not find that this concrete block garage had any historic significance.
I have Mr. Kent on. the line here, so if you need anything from him, just let me know.
Okay. Thank you.
Comments from members? Any concern with the demolition?
I think it's a safety issue. I think this thing's got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. No concerns at all.
Okay, so I make a motion to declare CAUD as lead agency under seeker.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
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 Make a motion to declare this action as unlisted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Sean, would you make that bigger for Mary Ellen?
Oh, no, I've got one in front of me today.
Two? See?
Yeah, I printed
knew
I
you
printed
were-
one out.
All right. Thank you.
I
very
like
much.
how you just signed Mary Ellen up for that. You didn't even hesitate there.
He's got a great voice for it.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky Mary Ellen.
Maybe I should, have some issues today.
Well,
Hey, come on.
truth be told,
You get the next page, John.
in my work, I see this form 3 times a week. I don't want to read it again.
Okay, should I start? You ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies, public-private wastewater treatment utilities? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Excuse me. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources? Example, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna? No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Will the proposed action create a hazard or environmental resources or human health? No. I propose this to be called a negative declaration.
Second.
We we'll need a roll call. So Mary Ellen motioned and John seconded, so I'm in favor, and Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Motion passed, negative action. John?
Waiting for him to put it up so I can read it.
Yep.
Sorry, I went too far. There we go.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, bear with me a minute. It's on a phone, so it's kind of teeny. Okay. Criteria for determination of historical significance for demolition. The commission's determination of historic significance should be based on the following considerations, which are based on the United States Secretary of the Interior Standards for Historic Preservation. If a structure is an outstanding example of a structure or a memorial representative of its era, either past or present, or if the structure is one of the few remaining examples of a past architectural style or combination of styles, or if the structure is associated with a historical person or event of significance to the city, region, state, or nation. I make a motion of no historical significance and hold it for demolition. It does not fulfill any of the aforementioned criteria.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
All
you.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. Motion passed.
All right, all set. You can, Jeff, you're good to go. All right.
All right, 16 Decanter Street.
Go there. And we've got John McMillan on the line for this one, so the commission can ask any questions there. Again, this is
Good afternoon.
Hey, John. So we've got a sort of a what I would consider a like craftsman-esque cottage that was constructed at some point between 1918 and 1952. And that's consistent with the newspaper records I went through as well. I think this has been, if I'm not mistaken, John, from what I saw, this has been in the family for quite a long time. Has passed down. Again, looking at it, I mean, the exterior, it seems like this building was constructed rather quickly from what I could tell. The interior seems to be in worse condition than the exterior from the photos that were provided by the applicant. And in going through it, I did not find that this property met any of the criteria for a positive determination of historic significance.
You have photos? Thank you.
Do we have any of the interior shots, Sean? I don't see any.
Yes, I do. Hold on one second. I can pull them up for everybody. They're just a little bit, they're a little blurry. Hold on one second.
Running from the Dobermans while you're taking the picture?
Yeah.
Actually, the camera is not a very good camera.
Okay. Good save, good save.
And exterior. That should give you a pretty good idea.
Anything can be salvaged?
Potentially, from what I saw, windows, potentially.
Well, I can tell you the condition of the windows is such that they are warped and bent and have been more in a state of decay for about 20 years.
Sean, you didn't, in your research, you didn't find historical significance or person presence or anything regarding the criteria?
No, in this case, I did not.
Okay, everybody, thoughts? John always has a hard time with these because he's probably thinking he could fix this.
Yeah, well, I'll sit on the sideline, but I'd like to see more pictures than just a kitchen. But I'm okay with it. Do what you want.
Yeah, this is Mike. I think it's pretty far gone. So I typically lean towards demo on these.
Okay. All right. I make a motion to declare CAUD is declared engaged on this application for seeker.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Make a motion to declare this a unlisted action.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mary Ellen.
I'm up. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Excuse me. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies, public-private wastewater treatment utilities? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources, example, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna? No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No. I make a motion to declare a negative declaration.
Second.
Okay, so John's for it. Mike?
Yes.
Ken is a yes. Okay. Motion passes. Negative declaration. John?
Yep, as soon as he puts it up. There we go. For determination of historical significance for demolition, the commission's determination of historic significance shall be based on the following considerations, which are based on the United States Secretary of the Interior Standards for Historic Preservation. If the structure is an outstanding example of a structure or memorial representative of its era, either past, present, or, it's me scrolling to the other side of the page, if the structure is one of the few remaining examples of a past architectural style or combinations of style, or if the structure is associated with a historical person or event of significance to the city, region, state, or nation, finding none of the above criteria, I make a motion of non-historical significance and say demo it.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, John, you're all set. Good to go.
So that means I do have a permit.
So the permit will be issued from the building department, but you can tell the building department that it's received CAUD review and it was a negative determination, and that if anybody in the building department has a question, they can ask me about that. So you can proceed.
I'll tell them to contact Sean McGee.
Correct.
Thank you very much for your time and your diligence.
Yes, tell them that you received approval today.
Okay, I'll tell them, and I'll see if they can get anything done before next week, but I doubt it. We'll see.
Okay. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
36, Finding Way.
Yep. So this is a city proposed demo using, this is a Empire State Development. The funding is coming from Empire State Development as part of a grant fund, similar to some previous demos that we've had. The only difference I want to highlight here is that this is in city possession, but it's currently occupied. So this obviously the city will not demo a property while there's people in it. That whole process of removing the individuals is taking place, but the
Good luck.
What was that, John?
Said good luck in a COVID world, trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. But at this point, the city is just seeking the determination of significance. So when that occurs, they can proceed. And so in this case, I provided because of the funding, I provided the part one. The part one secret form is meant to inform your review as part of part two. And again, this just because the part one's there doesn't mean you need to treat it differently. It's just meant to help inform you as you go through the part two.
What do we have for photos, Sean?
I'm just gonna, I'll be completely honest, I didn't get as close to this building because there were people there at the time and it was occupied. They're sort of actually hidden behind the telephone pole, but they were there. And I have been to this property previously and had rather lengthy conversations with the occupants. So in this case, I didn't get as close as I normally do. I apologize.
Anything that you found in your research?
No, nothing. The only thing I would say is that it's clear to me, from what I could see and the amount of time I could dedicate to the research, it's clear that this property has long been in the neighborhood, well into the, definitely second half of the 19th century in terms of construction. It didn't appear to be related to any of, you can sort of actually tell from the Sanborn map here, which are the Lacey buildings along Winding Way and what were sort of considered part of Dwightsville. In this property, I didn't find any evidence that it was part of that development. It could have been, but it seems sort of unlikely based on the sort of characteristics of the house. And the other thing is going through, you can sort of, let me go back up. You can tell the property has sort of been highly altered. You've got this wraparound porch here that's sort of been enclosed here. And then again, it gets smaller and smaller. And then you can actually make out where that porch was and how it sort of just became part of the house based on the sort of symmetrical or lack thereof or asymmetrical fenestration that's present. Yeah, so it's gone through a lot of alterations. It doesn't really exhibit a high degree of integrity. And from what I saw, it didn't really fall into the Dwightsville neighborhood.
Did the city have, sometimes they have a program, is this like a side yard program or something like that you had mentioned once before, or what's the city's plans? Just
Yeah, so this would be, that is the plan, is that this would be a candidate for the side lot program.
Any thoughts from members?
I think I'll be quiet.
Okay,
I'm pretty consistent. I think these dilapidated buildings should come down.
okay. All right. I make a motion to declare CAUD as lead agency on for the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to declare this action as unlisted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mary Ellen.
I'm up. Glad we don't have too many more of these. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies, public-private wastewater treatment utilities? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources? Example, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna? No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No. I make a motion to declare a negative declaration.
Second.
Okay. Ken Ellsworth, yes. Mike,
Yes.
motion passes for negative declaration.
Okay. Turn. Criteria for determination of historic significance for demolition. The commission's determination of historic significance should be based on the following considerations, which are based on the United States. I should have this memorized. Secretary of the Interior. If a structure is an outstanding example of a structure or memorial representative of its era, either past or present, or if the structure is one of the few remaining examples of a past architectural style or combination of styles, or if the structure is associated with a historical person or event of significance in the city, region, state, or nation. Finding none of the aforementioned criteria, I make a determination of no historical significance. It's slated for demolition.
I'll second that. All
Thank
in
you.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Do you have any other further business?
Nope, that's it. Just to give you both all a preview for Tuesday, at least right now, in addition, I guess, to the Springbrook applications, we've got a surface parking lot review for 7 Hawley, immediately adjacent to the new parking garage. That's going to have a seeker part 1 and part 2 component, just like we do for the demos, so just as an FYI. And then we're reviewing or CAUD will be reviewing or beginning the review process for the proposed deco district, and there'll be a consultant who makes a short presentation, and CAUD will be opening a public hearing for that. So you'll open the public hearing at the March meeting and then proceed from there. Typically, there'll be comments at the April meeting, and then you can close the public hearing and issue a determination from there. But just to give you a heads up.
Okay.
Is this lot going to be what was proposed to be like a small 2-story office building or something? Are they not doing an
No.
office building?
It's going to be.
No, this is not the developer for the building that was proposed backed out of doing that. So the city has proposed in the meantime a temporary or seemingly temporary surface lot immediately adjacent.
Okay, just so I'm on the same page.
Yep. You're remembering correctly.
Good.
So
That's a first, huh?
So John,
So are
the,
these the only two items?
Those are the only two items, but that's it in addition to the Springbrook signs.
Great. The Springbrook shouldn't take us long if, if they get something back to us.
Yep.
Sean, I have one other thing that I want to bring up. I'm trying to help my friend John out a little bit. When we are looking at these demos, and I understand the last one, having it occupied, you couldn't get close or you couldn't get inside photos. But when it's an applicant, couldn't the applicant take some inside photographs to help you in this process as a requirement for bringing a demo
Yes.
to CAUD?
Yes, and sometimes I get them and sometimes I don't, but recently, per John's comments, I've been really sort of pushing it, and that's why for 16 Decatur, we had them.
Okay, because I mean,
That
we've talked about this quite a while, and I know you've been trying, but maybe it takes it to turn up a notch that if we don't have inside photographs from a private person, this gets tabled. Unless it's unsafe to take those inside photographs. I don't know what to
Yeah, Decatur, there was indicate it was unsafe, and all we really had were pictures of a kitchen, and it was a floor where the linoleum had obviously been ripped up, and you had a hardwood floor which could have been sanded. The gas lines were recently worked on.
Yeah, I knew that there wasn't much, yeah, there wasn't much there. I was thinking about you.
Yeah, that was a gift to Diana because he had somebody who wanted to buy the property, and ultimately it doesn't make a difference. It's probably better gone in that case, but.
Yeah. So anyway, Sean, I guess I'm trying to turn it up a notch on getting the documentation we're needing in terms of the photographs from
I
the.
mean, to be honest with you, Ken, if the commission's comfortable with it, I can not even requiring CAUD to table it. I can just simply tell an applicant their application's not complete until they submit interior photos that are satisfactory, and I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
Administratively, I can do
That.
I would like that because it's not hard, and I don't want to get anybody hurt. So for sure, it may take your go out and look at it, but if they tell you they can't do it, but it's just part of the application, I feel.
And the burden of proof falls on them. They
Right.
want it torn down to prove to us it's not safe.
It causes my friend John anxiety too.
It does. And I've had a lot of anxiety this past few weeks.
we will try to alleviate the anxiety.
All right.
Please.
Anybody else have anything they want to bring up?
Nope, not right now.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, then I will see you all on Tuesday.
All right.
Yep.
Hey,
I promise to be on time.
Thank you.
me too. Motion
Then,
to,
motion, to close.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See you guys.
Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
How the hell did I get out of here?
Good. Come on, Sean.
What do you need?
Close it out. Close it out.
Why are you still on the line?
Why is this meeting still going on?
I was trying to do something. I didn't realize that it was a rush.